Okay, readers, today we're going to talk about how we do our listen and respond station. So every time you go to listen and respond, you're going to need to have one of these papers. If you are in the red and yellow group, you're getting the one that says red and yellow, and you're following along as we do this together. So the very first thing we do is we write our name at the top. And you write in today's date. I think it will be the 27th when we do this. Make sure you check, that might be wrong. Then you're going to write the title of the story. So the title of the story we're working on today is Rosie's Walk. So you would write that right here in this title blank. Rosie's Walk. Okay, so then the next thing we need to do is read along and see what we're going to do for what they want us to do. So it says, as college-ready readers, we always use college-ready sentences. We always support our ideas with evidence from the text. Then it tells us, so I've added Spanish in case some of us need it. So if you don't need it, just skip over it. Don't worry about it. If you do, you can read that. Please let me know if anything is incorrect. So the first thing we need to do, it says preview. Readers always collect clues before they get started reading. Look at the front and back covers of the book before you start reading or listening to the story, and then fill in this chart below. So we're going to ask, what do you think this book is going to be about, and why do you think this? If you'll notice, I always give you guys these sentence starters. I think this book will be about blank. I think this because blank. So let's go ahead and preview our book. So I see on the front cover, it looks like a fox, and it looks maybe like a farm, and then I see a chicken. So I wonder what this is going to be about. Then I'm going to turn it over, and it says, watch out, Rosie, there's a fox right behind you. So this gives me a clue. I think that maybe the chicken is Rosie, and she's going to be on a walk, and maybe this fox is going to try to get her. So I'm going to go ahead and fill this in right here. And for today, you're going to copy everything that I write. And sometimes I'll let you do this on your own, and sometimes I'll give you some help. So make sure you pay close attention. If you need to, you can pause or rewind so that if you don't miss or you don't get something written down, you can go back to it and write it down. So what do I think this book is going to be about? I think this book will be about Rosie the chicken being chased by a fox. Why do you think this? I think this because the front and back cover gave me clues. So at this point, we haven't read anything. So anything that you write here will need to be something about either the front cover of the book or the back cover of the book, or it needs to be about what you know about foxes and chickens from your own brain. So make sure that you're following the directions, and then now we can go ahead and get started. Number 2 says, now open the recording of the story in Google Classroom. Follow along in your text as you listen. Press pause while you are responding. So every time that I give you guys a listen and respond, I will have copies made of this story for everybody to use. So you'll go and get the copy of the story, you'll get this paper, you'll sit down, you'll get your headphones, open up Google Classroom, follow these instructions by previewing the story, and follow along with me as I read it on this recording. This is an independent activity, so you're going to have to be very, very careful not to get distracted. It should be stuff that you can do on your own because everybody's level. Everybody's reading something that's a little bit lower than what they are able to read by themselves. So let's go ahead and see what number 3 says. Number 3, characters and setting. Readers know that understanding the characters and setting of a story help them to better understand what's going on in the story. List the characters in the story. What do you know about them? Inner traits and outer traits. Okay, so now I know that when I'm listening to the story, I need to be paying attention to the characters. So let's go ahead and start reading. Rosie's Walk. Rosie the hen went for a walk across the yard around the pond. I'm going to pause here because I know a character, and I'm going to write it down. So one of the characters I know is Rosie the hen. Rosie the hen. What do you know about them? Inner traits and outer traits. So an inner trait, remember, it's on the inside. You can't really see it. It's something you can tell by the way the character acts, what they do, what they say. Or an outer trait is something you can see. So I can see that Rosie is a hen or a chicken, right? So I'm going to go ahead and write that down. She's a chicken / hen. Okay. An outer trait, I don't really know yet because they haven't really told us much about her. It seems like she likes to go for a walk. So maybe I could write that down. She likes to walk. So then you're going to come up with another character as we read through this together. So I think Fox is a good one. So today I'm just going to do the whole thing for you to show you how to do it. And you're going to have this filled out exactly like I do. But whenever we start doing this on our own, you're going to be doing, I'll show you how to do each one, the first one, and then you'll have to come up with the second one. So today you're following along and copying what I'm writing. So Fox, it seems like he's got red fur. That's an outer trait. I can look at it and see that his fur is red. An inner trait, maybe he's hungry. He's chasing this chicken and he's trying to catch her, so I think he's hungry. Let's keep reading and see what we need to do next. Oh my gosh, he fell in the pond. Silly old fox. Oh, over the haystack. I'm going to pause right here and come back to my story. What is the setting of the story? The setting of the story is where the story takes place. The setting of this story is at... I'm thinking that chickens live on farms, and I'm looking here, it looks like there's a windmill, it looks like there's a chicken coop, it looks like there's apples. So I'm going to say that the setting of this story is at a farm. So the next one says, make a prediction. A prediction is when readers guess what might happen next in the story. What do you think might happen next? So this part will always be, I will fill this part, this very first blank right here in for everyone every single time. And then you guys will have to come up with the bottom part, right? So I'll give you an example of something that's happened in the story, and then you're going to tell me what you think might happen next. So for this instance today, I lost my spot. I'm going to say, so what's happening to Fox every time? Like he's following Rosie through this farm. He went around the pond and then he plop fell in. Now he's going over the haystack. So I'm going to say Fox jumped over the haystack. So Fox jumped over the haystack has happened in the story. So he's jumping over it. So something I think might happen next is he might fall in the hay. So I think that Fox might fall in the hay, and I think this is because he's tried to get Rosie like several times now, and every single time he tries to get her, something happens and he doesn't quite get her. So something silly, like he'll fall in the water. It looked like he stepped on a rake a minute ago. So I think that since he's jumping over this haystack, he might fall in the hay or get stuck in the hay. So I made the prediction of what might happen next. Now I'm going to go back into my story and see if I was correct. Oh my goodness, he did fall in the hay. I was right. Sometimes we make predictions and they're correct, and sometimes they're not, and that's okay. We're just trying to guess what might happen next to help us get a better idea of what's happening. So Rosie goes past the mill. I'm going to pause right here because I want to go to the next question. Our next question is visualize. So it says, readers always think about how this story might look in their heads. Readers make a mind movie about what they are reading and see in the story in their heads. So when you see this word visualize, if you notice it's got visual. That's got to do with seeing, like with your eyes. So every time you see visual, you're seeing something. So maybe you can't see what's going to happen next, but you can imagine it in your brain. So you're making a mind movie. So what do you think this part of the story might look like? So on this again, I will always tell you what to write here when we do this together. You will have to come up with this one on your own, and then I will always give you an example, and then you will have to come up with the last two on your own. So today I'm going to do all of it for us so we can see how to do it, but just so you know, the next time we do this, everybody's will be the same here. You'll come up with this one on your own. I'll give you an example here, and you'll come up with the bottom two on your own. So when we visualize, we need to imagine a part in the story where something is specific is happening. So I'm going to go back to the part where it said that Rosie walked past the mill, and I'm thinking what's going to happen next to the fox. So I'm going to write right here, I'm imagining the part in the story where Rosie goes by the mill is happening. I'm imagining it looks like, so I'm thinking that she's gonna drop that flour on the fox. So I'm imagining it looks like she's gonna trip over something. So I think it might look kind of dangerous. Maybe it looks messy. And then 3 things to describe this are, let's see. What do you see in this picture? What's happening? So I see the fox is lurking. So I'm gonna write the fox is lurking. That means he's hiding out behind the chicken, waiting to pounce. See, the flour is like kind of hanging on by a thread. Bag of flour might fall. And I see that Rosie has tripped on the string. So Rosie tripped on string. So I'm painting a picture in my brain about what might happen so that I can describe it to someone if they don't know, okay? Let's see what happens next. Oh my gosh, she tripped over that string and all that flour fell on the fox. She has no idea either. Look at her. She's just going along, living her life. All right, Rosie's going through the fence. Oh no, fox fell on the wagon. He's rolling down the hill under the beehives. Oh my gosh, somebody might get stung. Oh, look at all those bees. They're chasing after the fox. And got back in time for dinner. The end. So now what we do is we look at the very last question. So it says summarize. Readers think about the most important parts of a book. In your own words, give me a summary of the story you just listened to. So here we have like some blanks, and then some of them have parentheses. That's these like little circle looking things that go around the words. So I give you like a sentence starter and then a blank, and then we fill this in, okay? So the story blank talks about blank. In the beginning of the story, blank. After that, blank. In the end of the story, blank. Then you see right here, it says title of the story. When you see these things and these parentheses, that's telling me what to write in the blank in front of that. So I know that the title of my story is going to go in this very first blank. So I would write the story, Rosie's Walk. Rosie's Walk talks about characters are going to go in this story. I mean, in this blank. So Rosie and Fox, because those are my characters, right? Those are the people or animals that we're following along with. In the beginning of the story, what's going on? Rosie goes for a walk. Rosie goes for a walk. In the middle of the story, what's Fox trying to do? Fox is trying to catch Rosie. So after that, Fox wants to eat Rosie. Poor Rosie. In the end of the story, what happens? Does Fox get to eat Rosie? Nope, she gets away. So we write in the end of the story, Rosie gets home safely. Boom, done. So this is what you'll be working on when your group is in the listen and respond station. You'll fill this out. And then once you finish it, you can make sure that your name is at the top. Then you're going to put it into the drawer for your grade over by where we pick our stuff up in the morning. And then you can work on Lexia, or you can finish up any work that you haven't finished for the week. If you need help with this, raise a strong silent hand, but this is a very independent activity because the other kids are going to be working in different groups and you guys can do this on your own. But I understand if we're struggling at first, so definitely raise a strong silent hand if you need help. Go ahead and put this into the drawer for your grade if you finish now and hop to Lexia.